Hey, Joe Tuman, I'm going to get after you like I got after Nancy Botham the other day. I'll be blunt. The problem with retaining our sports teams is a collective one, and it's not a matter of something simple as I'm not going to spend public money. I will fill you in on something. It is possible to build stadiums and arenas for sports organizations that don't require public money. I proved that with the plan that I submitted to the Raiders, which was reviewed by a 7-person deal team at Piper Jaffray, led by managing director Diane Pauley. And I did that at the request of Oakland Raiders owner Mark Davis at the spring NFL owners meeting at the Ritz-Carlton. The problem I have with Oakland, and really it's becoming a deep problem, is we have degenerated into a city full of activists and who talk about problems but do nothing, I mean nothing, to really actively solve them, unless, of course, they benefit directly in some way from them, and that's it. There's a lot of what we used to call styling and profiling that goes on, and no work whatsoever. It's more about who gets the credit rather than whether or not the job gets done. I am sick and bloody tired of going to NFL owners meeting after NFL owners meeting after Super Bowl and meeting representatives of municipalities that have their act together, including San Francisco, and yet when it comes to us to do something simple like make deadlines with respect to a stadium plan, we consistently fall flat. And yet we have people who ran for office, in your case twice, saying, no public money, no public money. That's easy to say. That's easy to do. Great. The mayor did the right thing in saying she didn't want public money. But guess who instructed her to go out there and say it? Just guess, okay? It's about process, not politics. We've had enough politics in Oakland. We're over-politicized. There wasn't a single candidate that ran on a jobs platform for mayor. Not one. Instead, every candidate had some version of a public safety platform, which I might add is starting to, in Oakland, degenerate into a racial profiling tool. This crap is absolutely ridiculous. And the city's direction is not healthy. And it's about time we looked each other in the eye and admitted it. Retaining the Raiders, the A's, and the Warriors is not a matter of sports teams. It's a matter of proving we have the will and the initiative to complete big projects. And I might add to you, Joe, it's a matter of proving that we understand how cities and public financing work. We don't. I want to give you a kind of a mini history of this developing DNA in Oakland, or I should say developed DNA in Oakland, that simply doesn't want to work to make any big project happen. Let me take you as far back as 1993 and the planned but failed Uptown Shopping Center, which was originally spearheaded by the Rouse Company, and I believe the gentleman's name was Michael Spears, yes, who tragically and sadly died in a helicopter crash. But the way Oakland works, when you have one champion for a project, if that champion goes away, or if that champion isn't listened to, the project dies. Sadly, that's exactly what happened to when Michael Spears passed away. The original subsidy went from $100 million to virtually $298 million, and it wasn't something that, even though I proved the city could actually do it in a bite-sized bond issue, didn't want to do it. So when we looked at the lion of progress, we blinked. You want another example? Downtown baseball stadium. Yeah, would have been a great idea for the A's, right? Would have gone right on the property where those apartments are that were built by Forest City, right? But Jerry didn't want one. Because, Jerry's not into sports. Like, that's so cool. Like he's some sort of intellectual because he's not into sports. People who say that really drive me up the wall. And I wonder if part of that is racism. Because sports united this country. When Jackie Robinson broke the color line in baseball, it was a symbol that the country had to follow. When Billie Jean King beat Bobby Riggs in the 1972 tennis match, it was a symbol that women could play on the same field of sports as men. And that example is more and more common today. Sports is a symbol of how our culture can grow and unite. And sports unites people, particularly by race. So when someone says, I'm not into sports, I think, you know what? You're either very racist, culturally inept, or some combination of both. But let's take that out of the equation. This is about also Oakland's ability to build new convention centers. We don't have one. We're about 30 years behind having one. It's about its ability to clean up and city build, and we haven't done that in a long, long time. And we have to prove that we can do it without redevelopment, and we have sucked so far. With redevelopment, we kind of like, okay, all right? But now we suck. I'm sorry. We do. So I don't want to hear from someone who ran for mayor, who could have had a plan to fix this, who could also still stay involved and put together a collective and have a plan of their own and march us forward, rather than, well, I'm not running for mayor, you know? Big deal. Hey, I'm not running for Jack. But when Mark Davis asked me to step up to the plate, I did. And I have no intent on running for anything. So please, knock this stuff off. I am really sick and tired of it. I really am.